We're like waiting for the go call for this to finally officially be done, and it is done. The Giants pairing Brian Burns with Kayvon Thibodeaux for the chance to have guys creating havoc on both sides of the line. So there it is. The Giants and Panthers have been going back and forth all day long to try to officially get this thing done. It is a done deal. Brian Burns to the Giants.
You just gotta love free agency. And I have for sure loved the New York Giants free agency so far. Today's day 2, but today we're going to talk about day 1 of New York Giants free agency and mostly talk about the trade and the acquisition of star pass rusher Brian Burns. The New York Giants. Yesterday was a crazy day. Saquon Barkley signs with the Philadelphia Eagles, becomes the most hated man in all of New York. Xavier McKinney signs with the Green Bay Packers. And a lot of people are sitting around like, what are the New York Giants going to do? What are the Giants going to do as their next move as we start our free agency? And they made a big one. Trading for star pass rusher Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers. Only giving up a 2024 second-round draft pick and a 2025 fifth-round draft pick swap with the Carolina Panthers. Then extending Brian Burns to a 5-year, $141 million deal with 87.5 of that money guaranteed, making him one of the highest paid defensive end in NFL history. You gotta love this move from Joe Schoen. You gotta love this move for the New York Giants. Let's talk about Brian Burns, the player. Now he's coming off, I don't want to say he's coming off a bad year. I don't want to say he's coming off a year where he wasn't productive, had 8 sacks, still had a pretty solid year, but his best year was definitely in 2022 where he had 12 and a half sacks. I want to say 18 tackles for loss and had a Pro Bowl nod in that year. But with this contract, the New York Giants are not paying him to be what he was last year. The New York Giants are paying him to be one of the best defensive ends, one of the best pass rushers in the league. And when you look at his age, going to be 26 years old next month, you look at the potential, haven't even hit his prime yet. The New York Giants are getting in a great bet here and making him one of the highest paid pass rushers in the league. I love this move for the New York Giants. Not only are you bringing in a guy that can consistently get out the passer, you're not only bringing in a guy that can get tackles for loss. Now, is he the best run, edge setter, best run defender? No, but he does get tackles for a loss. Has had more than 15 tackles for loss in the past 3 years in each of those seasons. But you're also pairing him up alongside Kayvon Thibodeaux, who you took with the 5th overall pick back in 2022. He's coming off a double-digit sack season himself, but we all know that still wasn't that productive of a year for Kayvon Thibodeaux. But you're also pairing him up with Dexter Lawrence in the middle of the defensive line for the New York Giants. So we're looking at a possible front 5, name 5 guys of Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeaux on the outside, Dexter Lawrence controlling the middle of the defensive line, and Micah McFadden and Bobby Okereke as your 2 linebackers. And I gotta tell you, that makes me very excited. Very, very excited. I'm pumped. I am excited to see those guys get after it. The New York Giants needed this right here. After losing talent like Saquon Barkley, losing talent like Xavier McKinney defensively, you wanted to make a chess move play, and that's what the New York Giants did, and it didn't cost them much. We still have a 2nd round pick in this year's draft from the Leonard Williams trade, which I'm going to get into next. The New York Giants got a 2nd round pick and a 5th round pick for Leonard Williams when they traded him during the season to the Seattle Seahawks. They used those picks, basically the same, capital that they got for Leonard Williams to get Brian Burns. So basically, when you sum it all together, the New York Giants traded Leonard Williams, who was on an expiring contract, for Brian Burns. And that right there is amazing GMing from Joe Schoen. You got to clap it up. That is a great move. And again, the contract is huge. Some people are not going to like the contract when you look at the stats from Brian Burns. But I see this as the same way I saw the Daniel Jones contract. Now, don't click off the video. Don't hit dislike on the video. Don't start bashing me down low in the comment section just yet. listen to what I have to say here. When the New York Giants paid Daniel Jones, it was paid off of projection. It was paid off of what he can be the next years down the line. That's why they paid Daniel Jones that money, because they was projecting him to be a top 10 quarterback. They're doing the same thing here with Brian Burns. And one thing that's better this way around is Brian Burns is way better of a pass rusher than Daniel Jones has ever been at quarterback. Has ever been. So projecting him to be a guy that you want to pay this much money to, I can accept that. I love that. Still young. The upside is there. Projecting him to be an elite pass rusher down the line, I can take that because he has this, he has the stats. He has the background to be that. And to get even better, he's just getting around and just getting close to being an elite pass rusher. And you're pairing that up with Kayvon Thibodeaux. You're pairing that up with Dexter Lawrence. You're going to have Azeez Ojulari who deals with injuries as now a rotational pass rusher. I love that for the Giants. I love that for us. I love it. I do. I love it. And this doesn't rule out possibly trading up for a quarterback. I know some people were saying, with giving up one of your second rounders, giving up a fifth rounder, that you're losing capital for a possible trade up for a QB. This doesn't mean that. You still have another second round draft pick. If you got to throw in your next year's first, to get your guy. So just because they traded for Brian Burns does not mean that it's all gloom and doom on a possible trade up for a QB. I want Drake May. I want Jaden Daniels. And I'm looking at the Patriots for that, to possibly get that done. But we'll see on that end. But in all, to conclude everything, this is a great move for the New York Giants. Brian Burns was possibly going to get traded for 2 first-round draft picks from the Los Angeles Rams. The Panthers declined that. Now we look at what the Giants did yesterday, trading for him for a second rounder and a fifth rounder. That's amazing. That's great. You love to see that. And the potential is there. Next alongside Kayvon, upside is there. I'm excited about this, and you should be too. If you enjoyed this video, though, leave a like, comment down below your thoughts on everything. If I had to grade it, I would give it a solid A. Solid A for the New York Giants with this move here, trading for Brian Burns. But finally, also subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, join the channel if you haven't done so already. We're going to have a full recap from the 2 days of free agency. The Giants have yet to make a move on day 2. We'll see what happens. Let you know. But until next time, it's been your boy Jay Dimes, and we are out. Go Giants. Peace.